Hello again from Green Island. We've finally had a little bit of rain, so the grass has greened up a bit and sun's come out, and I want to show you this lovely tree which is colouring way earlier than it would normally do. It's called Parrotia persica, or the Persian ironwood. Persian because it originally came from Iran. It forms a lovely spreading tree usually, but this one was planted in the garden here when we arrived at Green Island in 1976. Unfortunately, it had been planted too close to the cedar next door and the larch, so I knew it was never going to really have room to establish itself and show it off to its true potential. I did look into and think about having it moved, but actually it would have caused it so much disruption, we probably would have lost it. So I decided on balance to leave it here and take its chances, and to plant another one or two in other places in the garden. Having done so, this one is still the one that colours best of all. Normally in about the second to third week of October, as I said, but this year everything's early due to the drought. Just for comparison, this tree, if you see the photograph here, that was taken in November 2021, so just last year when we'd had a very wet summer, it hardly coloured at all. It reached a sort of golden orangey colour, and that was right in the middle of November. But this year, look at the colours we've got here, second week in September, and probably another week or two and the leaves will be completely gone. One of the reasons I think that this one colours better than all the other ones is probably because it's planted so close to the cedar, and the needles dropping have made the soil very acidic. So this is the Parrotia persica that I planted to be my specimen tree to take the place of the one that I've showed you previously. This one was planted in about 2001, so 20 years old, and it displays the typical habit of a Persian ironwood. Very wide spreading tree. It needs a lot of space to show it off to its full potential, almost as wide as it is high. You can see this one is still much greener than the other one, and that's because it's planted in an area of soil which is much wetter. It gets a lot more moisture and slightly less sun throughout the year. The new growth, when it comes in the spring, is often tinged with purple or red around the edges of the leaves, which is really attractive. Then you get this lovely green, elegant spreading tree all summer, and then absolutely covered in orange, yellow, red to purple leaves during the autumn. So beautiful fall colour. Once the leaves have gone, the bark on a mature tree will peel and display lovely cream and pink and grey mottled colours, so a really attractive feature through the winter as well. Then come the spring, you can see already from the thousands of little buds that this tree is adorned with that it's going to be covered in flower this year. People often don't recognise the flower of Parrotia persica. They're little red spidery-like flowers, very much like a witch hazel, because Parrotia does belong to the same family as witch hazel. The little red spidery things that look like petals are not, they're actually stamens, so the flowers are actually petalless, but nevertheless a very pretty feature in early spring. So this is another Parrotia persica we've got that's been planted probably nearly 20 years now, so you can see it's put on very slow growth. The soil is fairly poor here and it's fairly dry as well. But I just wanted to show you this one in particular because although it's colouring up already, it's going a very different colour, almost a reddy purple colour, which some of the books will describe the autumn colours of the Parrotias as. So they do vary a huge amount in the colour that they produce in the autumn, depending on the conditions that you put it in. So this is another Parrotia that I've planted, but it's actually a cultivar, Parrotia persica vanessa. And this one has been bred to be much more upright growing and not quite so spreading. So it makes it a much more suitable tree for a small garden or growing in a container if you haven't got the space for it. It still has lovely autumn colour, but this one this summer actually coloured prematurely in July and August and has dropped those leaves, but the remaining ones are still starting to colour now. But if you haven't got so much room, it's definitely a cultivar worth looking out for. So that's all for today. Thanks again for watching, and you can buy plants in our nursery if you like. Go to www.greenislandgardens.co.uk. Thank you.